15 matchup, we have the Buffalo Bills versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Buffalo Bills are coming into this game with a 9-4 record. They suffered a loss at home last week versus the Baltimore Ravens. And they have to go on the road and face the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have an 8-5 record and are coming off of a win versus the Arizona Cardinals. So this game has playoff implications. If Buffalo wins this game, they end up clinching their spot in the playoffs. And Pittsburgh needs to win this game so they can hold on to that last playoff spot in the AFC. Because you got Tennessee, who is on Pittsburgh's trail. So Pittsburgh really needs to win this game as well. They want to be able to hang on to that last playoff spot. Now, Pittsburgh has only lost 2 games at home this year. The Ravens and the Seahawks. They beaten the Rams at home and they beaten the Colts at home. 2 very solid teams. So the Buffalo Bills are coming into this game looking to try to get back on the right track after suffering a loss to the Baltimore Ravens. And the thing that I noticed from the Buffalo Bills is that the Baltimore Ravens forced Josh Allen to beat them throwing the ball deep. Now, when you go back to that Thanksgiving game, when the Buffalo Bills beat the Dallas Cowboys, Josh Allen was very efficient in that game. And basically because he was taking what the defense was giving him, he had a lot of easy throws. But Baltimore took away those easy throws for most of the game, and they forced Josh Allen to make some tough throws, and he wasn't able to make them. Early on in the game, in the first quarter, I think he overthrew John Brown. If he would have hit John Brown in stride, it probably would have been a touchdown. So a lot of passes that Josh Allen threw just were not on the mark versus the Baltimore Ravens. They forced Josh Allen to make some tough throws, and he wasn't able to do it. So coming into this game versus Pittsburgh, which is also a very good defense, Josh Allen, once again, is most likely going to have to be able to make some tough throws if Buffalo wants to be able to win this game. And this game is going to be on the road in Pittsburgh, at Heinz Field, either in December. It's very tough to play in Heinz Field already. It's one of the toughest places to play in all of the NFL. It's up there with stadiums like Seattle, New England. Not only are the Buffalo Bills on the road playing the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field, but they have to do it in the month of December. And it's really, really, really tough to get wins in Heinz Field during the month of December, especially considering what's on the line. So this game is going to be on a national stage, Sunday Night Football. This is the first Sunday Night Football game Buffalo has had in a very long time. And I mean, I'm excited because a lot is riding into this game. And I think the best part of this time of the season, Week 15, is that we see a lot more physical matchups. And I think this is going to be one of the more physical games that we're going to see this week. Buffalo, good defense. Pittsburgh has good defense. But I think the question that's going to come down to it is, who's going to be able to get the stops when they matter most? Who's going to be able to afford the offense an extra possession with creating a game-changing turnover? That's the question. Because Pittsburgh's offense, for the most part of the season, or basically the whole entire season, has been lethargic. Now, something that Pittsburgh fans have to be excited about going into this game is that they're getting Maurkice Pouncey back. He was serving a 2-game suspension following the events that happened a couple of weeks ago with the whole Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph incident. So he's going to be playing in this game. Now, we don't know the status of James Conner and Juju Smith-Schuster going into this game. So the good thing is you're getting Maurkice Pouncey back, helping that offensive line get healthy, which is going to be very key because the Buffalo Bills have a very good front seven. And it's very good to have your starting center back in Maurkice Pouncey. Now, for the Buffalo Bills, Devin Singletary. I think Devin Singletary is going to be the X factor for the Buffalo Bills in this game. Now, it was one drive that literally the Buffalo Bills gave Devin Singletary the ball nearly every play. And then when they got inside the red zone, they did a pass play and it didn't go anywhere. And then they had to settle on a field goal. So, Devin Singletary, I think, is going to be a big part of the Buffalo Bills offense in this game. He has to be. Because his wide receiving core, they're going to have a tough outing versus a Pittsburgh Steelers secondary that is playing lights out. Then, if you're Buffalo, you got to be able to score in the red zone. Buffalo's versus the Baltimore Ravens last week struggled inside the red zone. When they got inside the 20, they were not able to score touchdowns. In a game like this, the difference in this game is not only going to be the turnover battle, but who's going to be able to score inside the red zone. Touchdowns and field goals are going to be a big part in deciding the winner of this game. So, looking at my keys to victory, what both of these teams be able to do to win this game. For the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need to stop the run game. Buffalo was able to have a lot of success last week versus the Baltimore Ravens on the ground at times. And at most times, they look very dominant running the football versus the Baltimore Ravens. At one point, with Devin Singletary, they ran the ball with 7, 8 straight plays. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you need to stop the run. Then the next thing Pittsburgh needs to be able to do is you need to take away the short passing game. You need to force Josh Allen to beat you throwing the ball deep. Force Josh Allen to make some accurate throws. Force him to step up in the pocket. And force him to make some accurate throws downfield, which is something that Josh Allen has been inconsistent on. Last week versus Baltimore, he struggled to make some accurate passes down the field. He overthrew John Brown a couple of times. He overthrew Cole Beasley a couple of times. So Josh Allen, although he has come a long way compared to what he was last year, he still has a lot of work to do when it comes to his accuracy. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you need to take away the short passing game and force Josh Allen to throw the ball deep and try to force him to make some tough passes. And also that helps out the Pittsburgh Steelers secondary, because then when you have to force Josh Allen to throw the ball deep, that gives this defensive line, this pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers, more time to get pressure on Josh Allen. And when you got guys like TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, I mean, this is a very stout pass rushing unit that the Pittsburgh Steelers possess, and they can cause a lot of chaos if you're not able to protect your quarterback. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you take away that short passing game, force Josh Allen to throw the ball deep, and force him to make some accurate throws down the field. The last thing Pittsburgh needs to be able to do is they need some big plays on offense. Pittsburgh's offense has been lethargic the whole entire season, and the way this Pittsburgh Steelers offense scores points is that they always, it's always one play in the game that they have on offense that they have a big play. It's either Deontay Johnson having a big play on the offense or James Washington making a big play. So this is a Pittsburgh Steelers offense that struggles to sustain drives, and they have a tendency to have big plays, which ends up helping them win games. So this is an offense that has struggled to move the ball down the field, but they always find ways to get big plays when they need them the most. So if you're Pittsburgh, you're going to need some of those big plays and some of that magic on offense if you want to be able to beat this Buffalo Bills team. Now, this is a very good Buffalo Bills team, but this is also a Buffalo Bills team that's susceptible to big plays at times. So if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and Duck Hodges, you need to be able to find some ways to get some big plays on offense. Now, what the Buffalo Bills need to be able to do to win this game, for the Buffalo Bills, you need to limit turnovers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, a team that struggles to sustain drives and struggles to score points, you don't want to give them extra possessions. You don't want to give them the ball in their hands, because when you have an offense that struggles to score points, a way that you help them out is by giving them the ball back and giving them extra possessions and putting them in potentially good field position and things like that. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, you need to be able to limit turnovers. Now, when you look at all the Steelers' losses, one thing that's going to pop out in most of the Steelers' losses, those were games that Pittsburgh was not able to win the turnover battle. When Pittsburgh's not able to get turnovers, they're not able to get extra possessions on the offense. And you force Pittsburgh's offense to have to drive downfield and make plays and not be relying on those turnovers and getting the ball back and getting those extra possessions. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, you need to put the pressure on that Pittsburgh Steelers offense by limiting turnovers and force this Pittsburgh Steelers offense to sustain some drives and not be over-reliant on the defense forcing turnovers. The next thing the Buffalo Bills need to be able to do is they need to be able to protect Josh Allen. Now, last week, the Baltimore Ravens pass rush was able to get to Josh Allen a couple of times. And when you look at this Pittsburgh Steelers pass rush, this is a very scary pass rush. You got two great pass rushers in Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. Both of those guys going to end up making the Pro Bowl. Then you got a secondary that has been playing lights out over the last couple of weeks. So if you're Josh Allen, you need that offensive line to buy you some time so you can complete some passes. And if they're not able to protect Josh Allen, they're most likely going to end up losing this game the same way they lost to Baltimore. Because a big reason why they lost to Baltimore was they were not able to protect Josh Allen. So the team that I'm going with to win this game, I'm taking Pittsburgh to win this game. The reason why I'm taking Pittsburgh to win this game is for the simple fact that this game is going to be at home. It's going to be at Heinz Field. And you're looking at the Buffalo Bills team that has been good at sometimes versus some good teams. They beat Dallas. They look very competitive versus Baltimore. But I just don't think that Josh Allen is going to be able to keep the ball from being in the Pittsburgh Steelers' hands, because the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is great at forcing turnovers. And you got Josh Allen that coughs the ball up quite a bit when you force him to sit in the pocket and force him to try to make some deep throws down the field. And I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to do that. They're going to be able to take away those short passes, and they're going to force Josh Allen to have to beat him throwing the ball deep. And Josh Allen hasn't really been that accurate when he goes against good defenses. Look at New England. Look at Baltimore last week. The Pittsburgh Steelers have a great defense, and they're going to have to force Josh Allen to force him to make some tough throws, and I don't think he's going to be able to do it. So I think Pittsburgh's going to be able to win this game. I'm not expecting a lot of points to be scored in this game. I think Pittsburgh wins this game 13-10 is my final score prediction for this game. So let me know who you guys have winning this game down in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content. And thanks for watching.